How'd you get into
We
throwing
always
shows?
learn.
Because you said you did this show for the Dumar Brown's birthday party thing, I think, at some point. How did you decide to, like, get into throwing your own events? Because, like, all things considered, however much people want to might think about you, I look at life via, like, when you're doing these interviews, what are people like done? So there's the tier of I released music, fine, cool. But then it's like, what else did you do? Right? Like, often
Yeah,
the music part's one of the most boring parts of the interview, and it's all the other shit that make it kind of litty. So it's like the fact that you're actually like a concert promoter and doing this other shit is kind of
I've
interesting to
dabbled.
me.
Yeah, yeah, I've dabbled. I mean, like one thing that well, look, what I still do like to do for Common Ground is hosting, because I feel like one thing I've learned about myself over the years in music and working in kitchens is that I have a personality once I start to feel comfortable in a certain setting. Once I started feeling comfortable in a kitchen, it's like I'm unfuckwithable. You know what I mean? I thrive in a kitchen environment. And then eventually the same became true for the hip hop world. You know what I mean? If I'm at a show, I'm on stage, I'm really in my element. I feel comfortable. Now I learned how to be entertaining outside of just rapping your songs. You have to engage your audience. You got to have fun with it. So I learned that hosting is like a way to get into just having fun with it, engaging the crowd. So basically, yeah, like that's what something I've always just kind of wanted to do, and I've attempted a couple of times, and I've been successful a handful of times with it. But yeah, I mean, from the Doom show, which was I guess is the first time I ever organized or hosted anything up until the last few shows I did, just pre-COVID. Yeah, that's it's fun to do. It's fun to do. Uh, it's more than just rapping. It's also about being a personality, it's being someone that can bring us together and engage the crowd, and not just be like, okay, next up here's this person, and then you know what I mean.
Yeah, I never liked
You need
those
a host that's
hosts.
gonna,
You gotta be like the host that's like,
yeah,
well, I always look at it like if you watch the TV show hosts, they totally script jokes and shit for that. Like when you're doing like an award show or anything, like, yo, these people come in and they got bits. They're like,
sure.
fuck all of y'all. I'm more interesting than whoever the fuck I'm bringing up. So the one time I hosted a show, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to outperform all the rappers as a host. I don't know if I achieved that goal, but
Yeah.
that was my goal. So I feel it. I feel that
Well,
energy.
I mean, for what it's worth, you've always been an artist that stuck out. You know what I mean? One thing I don't like is like the monotony of the style of music that we hear from local rappers that are just trying to copy what is popular, kind of thing. Now, like I'm a lot less intense than I used to be about this subject. I mean, when I was younger, I was very much a purist about this shit. You know what I mean? I used to be like, fuck auto tune and all that, and it's still something I won't fuck with personally. But
I
it's, you know
caved.
what I mean? It is what it is, guy. I
I
mean,
hit
like
the
it's a
point.
style of music. It's been a style of music for over a decade. Anyways,
It's a tool.
but
It's a
when I would go to
tool.
local, when we would go to local shows and we see guys just trying to be Future, just trying to be Migos, just trying to be whatever, even just trying to be Kendrick Cole, Drake, what have you. I, I get frustrated with that personally. I want to see people who are going to do something different. HSR has always been an artist that has come up on stage and been like, okay, here's something that's going to be a little bit out of the box. You know what I mean? I've always appreciated that about you.
That shit didn't
The
help. That
suit.
was hard.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the suit's real though.
I don't know how you'd get up on stage in a full fucking suit,
Oh,
bro,
straight up.
for
I'll
20
break it down
minutes.
one time. It was all about
I'm
girls.
taking off my shirt and shit, bro. You're there
Nah,
in
dude.
full three
Cause I'm
piece
like
fucking.
overweight, right? I'm an overweight dude. Not necessarily feeling the best about my body at this time and shit, right? So I have this deduction at a certain point. If I walk in wearing a
My
suit,
bad.
because I realized showing up well dressed to a date helped increase the likelihood of smashing happening. And I like that. I liked it when girls wanted, I liked it a lot. I mean, I'm not saying I don't like it now, but it
It's
motivated me.
nice to feel desirable.
But like back at like that age, shit, that's half the reason I rapped. Like, but honestly, yeah, no, everything was back then like I gotta get powerful, blah blah blah, because ultimately, on vanity reasons, I can then smash with whatever frequency I can smash with. Um, so I thought to
Right.
myself, everybody looks like a hobo in a lot of ways. Sometimes, not every show, but like you go to the like fucking club and everybody dresses the same, everybody acts the same, and whatever. And I'm like, but girls always say guys look the best in a suit, like across the board. Oh, you clean up well. They go out of their way to compliment you when you bust out the suit. I said that's the move. That's gonna be the most like
Yeah.
valuable way to approach this situation, in that regard.
Yeah.
And then it turned out
And
that
how many acts do you see get up dressed formally, in a sense?
not
You know what
very
I mean?
often. I know I'm not the only one. I know there are people who have done this, but like, I would say in Montreal's English hip hop scene, I'm the suited motherfucker, and everybody knows it.
Mm.
Well, those who have ever seen it, but like, um, yeah, no, it was really because I did that, and then I realized that drunk people remember you. Like drunk people remember the motherfucker who got up on stage and rapped in a suit,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm like,
That's
this
the
is.
game soup, right?
But then like it would be like I'd go to shows. It got to a point where people would like come up to me and be like, "I remember you rapping at that shit," and I'd be like, "I don't remember you because I was drunk," and they'd be like, really offended and shit. And I learned really you gotta lie sometimes. Sometimes lie is lessons I learned in life.
Sometimes lie. Yeah, I guess.
And
I
that
mean, it's hard. It's hard to remember people though. You think they're meeting a lot of people in a night, and like they have a hard time remembering you, bro. You're meeting all these people, these other artists, their friends, their fans, and if you're doing shows regularly, like every other weekend, you're meeting a lot of new people all the fucking time, and you're almost always drinking if
no,
you're
I
like
stopped
me.
that. That's the thing. I had to stop drinking. At a certain point, I realized
Okay, okay.
like drinking is bad for my life, and well,
Oh yeah.
so at first I drank because I
I mean,
thought I had to. Like you get this notion of, oh, I'm gonna suck, so I would get drunk, and it was almost the only time I would drink was when I
okay.
rapped. Honestly, I didn't really drink unless I was rapping because for some reason I thought it made me a better performer on some nerve shit.
Yeah.
And then I remember doing it sober on some circumstance shit, and I'm like, oh, I'm fucking good sober. Like no
Yeah,
weed,
yeah,
no
for sure.
nothing. I'm like, fuck that. And then it was just, I mean, I'm weeded pretty much every time since. But like alcohol, I don't think I've actually performed. Yo, what's up, Jumpin' Joe? I don't think I've actually performed with alcohol in years. Like I don't think I would. That would fuck me up. You're gonna catch me at whatever show I do next. I'm gonna be maybe like 84 joints in, but I don't think I'll have a drop of alcohol.
Okay.
And then
I don't know. Like I like to drink at shows because it's getting stoned and then getting up on stage.
but I
I feel
remember
will
everything,
will
right? That's the only thing. So for me, I can remember the whole night. Then I'm not gonna forget things. That's how I can do it. I mean, I smoke and I remember the interview shits and whatnot as proof of it. But like that's it. So if I drink, I forget everything. If I that's why I forgot where I was going with it. If I drink, I forget everything. And if I smoke, I'm gonna remember people that I talk to and the conversations I have with. I might not remember faces at all, but I'll remember the conversations I have with people, and that'll be very valuable to me
mm,
as like a networking tool. And I feel like one of the things I have always disliked about the way people treat performances is that it's not like a party to me. Like it's always felt like a job. Like man, it's like I've got to go out and I got work the next day, blah blah. So I've always treated it like it's a fucking job. And it's like it's not a party. Like we're putting on a show for an audience that's like we're selling a service to people and shit. So it's like I don't know, maybe like that
I feel
vibe.
differently, personally. I
But
mean,
I
I want to get up and I want to go and have a party. You know what I mean? I want to go up there and have fun because I want it to be a fun performance.
I
Like I said, like I didn't do this to monetize anything. I didn't do this with any kind of intent to gain anything from it. It was just
so
something
I
I've
don't
always
I
just
don't mean
wanted
to
to
not
do.
have fun, but when people take it too far with the party, it stops being
Well,
like a show.
yeah, but that's just true in general, right? Like I come from a whole background of drinkers and substance abuse and whatever the case, and that's true outside or inside of music, or neither here or there.
And I'm
But
not
yeah,
saying alcohol is inherently a
when you
problem.
focus too much.
It's the attitude of the
Oh,
party.
but when you do focus, when you focus and make too much of your, when you put too much emphasis on the partying and less on the showmanship of it, I guess you're right. That it becomes negative and it reflects negatively on you, on your product, on your,
It,
you know,
nah,
on your
let me put it like this:
seal or whatever.
the scene. The scene has a reputation. Like I find a lot of the conversation is like we talk like, okay, so let's say TNT is a team, that's the Habs, and you're a player on the Habs, and then my behind us Susta, whatever team. And this is how we've always analyzed it. And we've always thought about the reputational impact of the teams and how they relate to each other. But nobody ever talked about the NHL's reputation. So when you ask people, and that's Montreal hip hop when you're not saying it in French. Montreal, that's a different thing. Montreal hip hop. Its reputation, bro, it's not in a good place, man. You talk to average folk, as in like people disconnected from the scene, and you go, would you go to a show? Yeah, you get a mild curiosity, but more often than not, you get a fuck no. Or something with an extreme, like, are you kidding me attached to it? Because of the attitudes that a lot of people have kind of displayed with how serious it gets taken. Now, this is not Holden's opinion. This is what I've actually encountered in real life, trying to push the idea on people to get market research so I could have conversations like this. But like, I'm talking like young people, random employee shits, just casual whatever's. Man, people don't think we're serious, so they don't treat us serious. You know what I mean? Like, that's the perception I have when people think of Montreal hip hop as a collective unit of shits. Mad not good for people trying to make careers out of it. That's just like
I guess.
So it's like I hear the perception and desire to like have fun, and I don't want to give up fun, but there's got to be a balance between fun and we're doing a job. Cause like
I don't know. I've never really seen it as a job. I guess is what I'm trying to say. Cause like
I don't think
I've always
most
had my
people
job.
have.
You know what I mean?
I don't think
My escape with music. My music has always been my escape. But that's me, dude. Like, you know what I mean?
it's not just
I'm
you.
saying, like, for
It is-
me, it's
it
always
is
just
most
an
people.
escape. It's
That it's like a lot of not
It's
most.
fun.
It's a lot of people I've talked to, but like I'm obviously being pointed in this. I'm clearly like my intention of bringing this up is what I think needs to happen next, more so as like life reopens and how people should treat some shit if they want to make money. Like these two things happen.
yes, of course. Certain artists and of course, certain things should be taken more seriously. But I don't know. At the same time, artists should maybe stop taking themselves so seriously and have a little bit more fun. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's what I would like to see more. I don't mean more fun in that you have to be necessarily irresponsible or you know what I mean? Fucking berated or
Let me
anything.
like reframe it. So the show starts at this time. Show up 15 minutes early. Treat it professionally. Go do whatever you want to do while you're there. I don't give a fuck. But be present. Be part of the crowd. Don't stand outside smoking. Like, I'm sorry, but the way people treat it, I don't know. Like, there's got to be a different kind of behavior that's got to happen amongst the artists to encourage people to want to come. Because if none of us can get footage of fucking people in the show performing, it looks whack. And then when you're putting that online, that's what people see. And I mean, I'm not saying I'm saying I agree with you. Take yourself less seriously, but in doing that, treat the scene more seriously.
Yeah, I agree.